I'm a haunt actor. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. A lot of you guys also don't know that, depending on how well this video does. This fucking sucks. I love scare acting. I have this channel, which has been about scare acting. In those 2 years, I've come to a lot of decisions and conclusions. Where am I right now to make this video is not a good place. I never meant to make this video, but I recently got back from something I was doing in Las Vegas. I can't talk about it for NDA reasons, but unrelated to this, totally. Here's some videos about stuff I recently watched that I think is very interesting and you should totally watch yourself. Has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, because I can't talk about what I'm talking about, NDA stuff. But you should go watch those because they're very important. Anyway, I came back from my thing I did in Las Vegas recently, a couple weeks ago, and I was so astronomically lost. I put so much hope and faith into what I was doing there that when I came back, I had nothing. So now I'm here. I've really been thinking for the past couple weeks just about my life. I've never really had a long bout of time to just sit with my thoughts. I've always been doing something, making videos mostly for this channel. But this has forced me, what's happened to me recently has forced me to sit down with myself for weeks, not just days, weeks, and think about my life and how I've gotten here and what it means to be here in the present moment. I want to share some of those with you guys, because a lot of them are also centered around being a haunted house actor. I've basically gone all in with the haunted house stuff. So I've been working on YouTube videos for it for the past 2 years. Places like these that are the scariest, that are really niche and not typical, are the most welcoming places you can ever be. That's where the most welcoming people are, because that's where people congregate towards to do something unique and interesting and unlike anything else. It is kind of like a drug detox when the season ends. And I know that might sound crazy and intense. When you go into the job and you really enjoy the job, it's seasonal for a reason. You realize at the end of the season that you cannot keep that kind of thing up for the whole year. It's very strenuous in the body and the mind, all of that. You can't keep it up the entire year, but my god, is it so hard to be without it. For the past 2 years, since I started haunt acting, since I started making my videos, the rest of the year has become so hard for me. And that's the give and take of finding what you truly love in life, is you are so happy and so intensely in love with what you're doing in the moment. But when you are without that thing that you find so much joy out of, you are empty. And I've been empty for the past 2 years after working in haunted houses, because I have grown such a fondness and attachment to the industry that I did not think I would have. I try keeping myself busy, constantly, trying to find other things that give me the same inspiration, the same joy. Well, I've been coasting in life, and I didn't really realize I was until I had this time, because this time something happened to me over the summer. Something that was very exciting, that was as exciting, if not even more exciting than haunt acting for me, which has been very, very rare in my life. And then it all came crashing down. It was the worst possible outcome. And so I came back home and I realized I could have the feeling I have while haunt acting for the entire year. But I haven't found it. And I thought I found it, but I didn't. And I want to warn people about chasing after dreams. When you find those dreams, they will not last forever the way they are right now. And something I'm learning right now is that when they change, when they evolve, when they are gone, you need to take the time to sit with the loss, to sit with your emotions, to really understand them instead of trying to push through. Because what I've been doing for the past 2 years is the haunt season has ended, and I have distracted myself with making videos I wasn't fully interested in. I think it's progress, but it's distraction. And a huge takeaway I've learned from working this kind of seasonal job is that you need to sit in your sadness for a long time. And I actually didn't take it away from scare acting. I took it away from my Las Vegas experience, because I've had to sit in my anger and my sadness and look inwards. So if you get very attached to scare acting, keep in mind it will end. It will start and it will end. That doesn't mean it's gone forever. Far from it. something I've learned right now, as of a couple days ago, is sitting in the loss for days, weeks at a time will help you see what to do next. Because you cannot be a scare actor, have the scare acting season end, and then just yearn for the scare acting season to come back. You cannot live like that. You have to find another passion, and the only way you can find a passion is by sitting in silence and sitting with yourself. This kind of goes for anything. And when you do that, you sit in these very strong, vivid emotions, and you let yourself feel these horrible, horrible feelings. I still feel them. I'm still in a pretty bad place, but you realize through them what you truly want out of life. At least in the moment. Life changes constantly. The things I've realized about life is the things that are most worth it are the scariest. When you think of your best memory, depending on what you've done, where you've been, you probably think of one of the hardest things you've had to do in your life, at least getting there, the anxiety. That's the same thing for haunt acting. We build up barriers in our minds that we don't even know are there until we are directly facing them, until we have overcome something. We really look inwards really far and realize that was there, that wall. You didn't think you had it, but it was there. When I started scare acting 2 years ago, that wall for me was being vulnerable with myself, being vulnerable with other people, being scary. It's hard to be scary originally when you're becoming a haunt actor because society doesn't want you to be scary. Society doesn't want you to act like a psycho, crazy monster. It's weird, it's cringe. People think you're, what the hell you're doing. But taking that wall down really helps you connect to the people around you. I guess it's kind of the same thing as being in the military or the armed forces. Going through things that other people are not willing to put themselves through. Breaking barriers in your mind with other people doing the same thing is what builds true bonds and true friendships. And I think that's why the haunts community is so strong itself, is because you break these preconceived notions of what is right and what is wrong, what is cool and what is not, what is scary and what is cringe, and you do that with other people alongside you. You need to carry that thought process out into the rest of your life, too. And I hadn't been doing that until right now, because recently I discovered I want to pursue music. And before, I didn't realize until I just came to that realization recently, but that was a barrier for me. The idea of pursuing music, complete barrier, because ever since I was a kid, I never saw it as an option. There was so many other people doing it all the time. I'd never taken any classes in singing. I never played an instrument. I was never in band. I never did any of that. So I just mentally checked out from it. I've done everything else creative-wise. I'm a very creative person. Never music. Never thought that was for me. But when I sat in my sadness and I sat in my contemplation and I really looked inward, I found that wall. And I chiseled away at it. I just poked away at it until I looked through the cracks and I realized things in my life line up to this path that I did not realize did. And I don't think I would have had the skills to look inward and do that if I did not become a haunt actor and go through all the hard times of being a scare actor and working through yourself and your inner monologues and stopping in your mind, stopping you from doing things. I don't think I would have realized I wanted to be a musician if I did not become a scare actor and have to go through those mental blocks first. I had to break so many barriers in my life to become a scare actor. I was so shy. I was so worried about being seen as cringe. I was so worried about not being good enough. I was so worried about being too tired, not being strong enough to be in this job. When I broke down every single barrier and really lived in this scare acting haunted house environment, I realized it was the greatest thing I could have ever done, even though it was one of the hardest things for me to ever do. And having that skill set has now given me the chance to do that with something I can make an entire career over. And it took me the same process it took me to become a scare actor to get to the point where I realized I might want to try music. And I think that is a good indicator that I should. If there is something in your life that you're feeling a lot of barriers about, do not shoot off. Don't just put it away. Think about it. Be sad, be angry, be elated, feel your emotions with it, because when you feel deep emotions, when you push past, when you push past all these emotions and these barriers and these blocks in your mind, then you really get to the structure of this thing that you want, and then you can really evaluate it, not by the walls it's surrounded by, but by the house itself. You break down all these barriers, you keep breaking down these walls until all the walls have crumbled and you've gotten to the mansion inside. And only when you've gotten to that mansion inside, when you've felt every single emotion related to this thing that you can you really evaluate if it's for you or not. Haunt acting is not easy. It's not easy. It's not for everybody, but for the people who really push through the barriers that it takes to become a haunted house actor, to work in these haunted houses, it's the greatest thing they've ever felt. You gotta get beaten down and get back up a lot to realize something is truly for you. A lot of times when people get hit down, they think that, oh, this isn't meant for me. This wasn't meant for me. No, that's good that you got hit down. I see that as God or the spirits, whoever you guys think, whatever you guys think of the universe. I see that as the universe giving you an obstacle because it sees that you are interested in this thing and it wants to test you. With haunted house acting, it's hard. It takes a long time to figure out your acting style. It takes a long time to get comfortable. You're going to get switched around rooms, maybe a lot, depending on where you are. There are going to be some really long nights. There's going to be some really nasty people. You're going to get really sore. And there are constantly rocks being thrown at you. But these rocks are not there to get you to quit. They're there to see if you really love it. So I implore you, when you find these obstacles, when these obstacles happen, because they happen to everybody, get back up after them, because they'll only make you stronger. And I've had many, many rocks thrown at me from the universe, and every time I come back up from them, initially I'm like, F you! Why am I even doing this? That sucked. But then I realized, it showed me I care enough about this thing to get knocked down and to get back up. And it's only made me a stronger person. It's only made me learn from my mistakes. In my mind, that is God showing me that, hey, you're doing really well right now, but let me knock you over to fix this little thing you're doing wrong so you can get back up and be an even better person at it. And I've taken that into my life currently with music. In this horrible stage in my life right now, I've gotten beaten down pretty freaking bad. I've gotten a whole boulder knocked. Oh my god, I can't talk about boulders right now. It was a really, really big fucking boulder that got thrown on me recently. And I'm slowly, it's been a lot harder to pick myself back up from it, but picking myself back up from it, I'm slowly piecing together how to change my life. And I didn't think that would be the outcome of what happened here. Get excited when you have little twigs and rocks thrown at you, because when bigger boulders come smashing into you, you'll be able to get up from them and realize you're even more than you thought you once were. It's been really hard for me to make a YouTube video. This was very random, a very, very random decision of mine to make this video here, but there were some really key takeaways from the time I've spent haunted house acting, the time I spent living life to get to here right now in the current path I'm choosing to put myself on with music. And I felt that this was a really needed video. If you're thinking of becoming a haunted house actor, I implore you to, even if it's just a little thought, bet on yourself. If you even have a little inkling of an idea that you might like something, bet on yourself. Because if I didn't do that, I would have never found something I loved so dearly. And if I didn't do that again with music, I would have never found something that I can focus on. I'm gonna take this contact out now. Can't see a single thing in this, but I always wanted it, so now I can be like an actual vampire. Love you guys. And thank you so much for listening. That didn't really work because there's 3 other ones lit, but I just spilled wax on my hand! Ooh, it's not actually that hot. I just overreacted. Oh, that was scary though. That could have been really bad.